Hello, welcome. My name is Olika Castillo. I'm with AIDRA International, and today I'm here with a very special guest. So let me introduce you first. Just so you know who is Cristina Martinez, she's a person that I really admire. Cristina is a seasoned public affairs and communications professional known for planning high-impact events and corporate philanthropy programs. She's a savvy communicator, able to identify and scale up programs to meet the stakeholders' needs and strengths, community initiatives, and social events. In her actual role as DSNP Community Engagement at UNA, she is responsible for developing and strengthening community partnerships in South Florida. Cristina also volunteers as the public relationship chair for the United Nations Associations in the Broward chapter. And as an international nonprofit organization, she supports the United Nations missions and sustainable development goals. She's actually working towards health and well-being. So with that, I am honored to welcome Cristina.
Thank you, Olika. So basically, yes, I volunteer at the board for the United Nations Association of Broward County chapter. And what does the organization focuses on is basically promote what United Nations is doing worldwide about keeping peace, about providing support to different nonprofit organizations and programs within their structure, which are about 30. One of their main projects are the Sustainable Development Goals, which are 17, and those sustainable goals were agreed to follow through on 2017. And the purpose of that is to focus the efforts in those 17 social causes, which are economic development, well-being, health, sustainable cities, climate change, life above water, life below water, and among other things. Thank you for sharing those. So, but those 17s are within 4 main social causes, which is economic development, health and wellness, climate change, and partnerships for the attainance of those goals.
Thank you. Yeah, I remember when I learned first about the global goals, I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Unfortunately, we live in a very individualistic society. And when I learned about this, I was like, I'm all on board. I would like to create more awareness about the global goals. And with that, we started our nonprofit. So tell us more about what is the one that you like the most, or how do they complement each other? And how can we create more awareness for especially young people like your generation and younger people? How can we get them involved?
So I am very keen in what is gender equality, because I believe that by empowering women and everybody with the different tools, we are able to move forward in society, right? And by assuming the different leadership roles, which is in my case, what I have experienced throughout my career and throughout my life, being a single mom, trying to thrive within the different limitations that being a single mom could represent. But going above that, right? Going beyond those challenges, it's by accessing the different resources that the community has. And the other SDG that I'm very keen about is zero hunger, which is going towards reduce the hungerness, right? It will be here in the States, it's not necessarily hunger, it's more food security. It's when a person or a family doesn't know when the next meal will come. They do have at least 1 meal per day, but they don't know if they will have all 3 during the day, or when it specifically is, if it's nutritious enough in order to keep them healthy, which is the other SDG that I actually work towards, which is the well-being and health. Is the number 3, I'm sorry. And why I like that very much is because it aims towards to the mental health. And I believe by emotional intelligence, by having a well-being overall, you are able to be more stable economically, mentally, physically, and you will be able to develop yourself and thrive in whichever role that you assume, either by being a mom and house administrator, being a wife, being a full-time worker, a leader. Everything that you do, it bases on being a very emotional human being.
That is true. So tell me, because we are in a very individualistic society, so how can we create more awareness about helping other people? Like we were saying, the goals is like just the basic pyramid, like hunger, that's like your base. You have to start covering those basic needs. Next one is health and, creating like a job and job opportunities, economic development, especially in other places where they don't have that many resources. So how can we create a society where we are more aware, and how can we influence on others so they can also engage on achieving these goals?
I like to see it as phases. Some people volunteer, some people donate money. Donations are good because it helps nonprofits to work towards their operations and fulfill the services that are missed in different areas. So for example, your organization is able to have that capacitation development with the people that need the most in order to create social economic development. Other people like to volunteer. I like to recommend to be strategic about where, how, come are you going to volunteer. Mm-hmm. If you're volunteering with your expertise, if you're volunteering to help with the operations of other nonprofit organizations. And if you want to continue scaling up and having a major reach, impacting even more people, you get to use your role in the work environment that you are, and you are able to be kind of the advocate of those nonprofit organizations or specific projects working to a specific social causes. You can impact more than 10 people. There is a statistic that by a person not having a good quality service, there is 10 people that for sure will know that service, it wasn't good. So it happens the same if you act good, if you do good, and you actually say that through your social media, that you are doing good things, it will multiply that effect. The people will see you. You are the model of others. You are the model for your children, for your nieces, for your nephews, for your family. So that multiplies. It's a replifying effect. It's a domino effect. And by just scaling up as you progress in your life, it's a good way to continue bringing together the different key leaders, the movers and shakers, and the different people around you. That's, I think, how we can make it simple, low investment. Everyone can do it because everyone can volunteer. Everyone can donate at least $1 per month. So it's little by little. If you want to scale it up to a bigger size when the corporations help out, if you are in a corporation that actually helps out, You can actually donate through their system if they have a system, and they can most probably match up your donation. You can volunteer and let others of your coworkers letting them know that you volunteer to come to the organization, and that they will eventually engage with that organization. You can create programs within the organizations. You can create groups in order to do walks and create awareness. There are so many other options, but that's I'm giving you an example as an individual, as a key leader. How can you be a good change in your community?
Remember, we're saying if you want to have other people involved, especially you as a leader, you want to have other participants of your organization to be part of that, you need to connect, right? You need to share stories. You need to find a common ground where, let's say, for instance, we all care about the environment, or we all care about women. So we have to find a way to connect with those people so they take this personal, they take this goal. Again, it's 17 goals. One of them should be the one that makes a click or connects with that person. So that way they really care about at least one. And like you were saying, to make like that ripple effect into others. So for instance, what do you recommend your employees or your friends? How do you connect with them?
I connect with them. Well, besides going to a lot of networking events, basically what I do try to find always is a common ground with everybody that I met. If I'm able to find a common ground within a conversation within 1, 2, 3 minutes, that's a win-win for me. There is always something that we can add value, and there is something that people can add value to us. For when for example, we are doing and we are working towards any kind of partnership, individually, one-on-one, or with an organization and another organization, it's key to identify if this organization is good educating, and I have a group of people that needs education, that's a win-win partnership. If a person is very knowledgeable in Excel, to give you another example, and the other person is good at writing, maybe the person who is good at writing might be able to put together a report that the person that is good in Excel can put together the numbers. So it's where we can complement each other in society as individuals and as a groups. How organizations, how groups, how projects can continue complementing each other, and providing the platform to create those partnerships.
Yeah, that's one of the other key ingredients to have collaboration, because we may have nice, unique talents that, of course, you by yourself, you may think it's, like a very big task. But if you team up with somebody, if you collaborate, you can see the impact much greater compared to just trying to change the world yourself, right? It may be overwhelming.
Yes.
So the name of our organization is AIDRA International. And that's precisely what we are trying to do. We're trying to end hunger, pretty much, because when you help people in rural communities, especially to become sustainable, to start their own business, to be self-reliant, so that way they don't have to depend on a job, you create strong communities, right? So that's one of the purposes. So we invite you, friends, to visit our website, www.aidrainternational.org. You can also follow us on social media. You can find us at AIDRA International 2020. And I want to thank Cristina one more time for her participation. I know she is changing the world. She's a great example. And I really want you to pretty much keep in touch, follow our channel, and let us know if you have any other questions or any other topics that you would like to develop. Thank you, Cristina. Thank you very much.